First of all, I dropped my phone recording footage for this vlog, so please give it a like so I know that the new scratches on my screen were worth it. In this video, I'm giving you even more tips on how to survive any girls trips you might have planned for the rest of the year. If you didn't catch the first one, part 1 is in the cards and in the description. Please check it out. This was Sunday, the last day of our trip, and we did a lot to squeeze the juice out of our vacation. So here's a visual. We started at the Airbnb where the red pin is, and we took the bikes. Yes, the bikes. Keep that in mind, to Rosemary Beach, which is where the farmer's market was. I'm gonna tell you about that later. And then we rode to Alley's Beach. They have beautiful white houses. It looks like Greece low-key. We took so many pictures and videos. Then we finally were able to get into the water at Seacrest, because remember I told you guys about the riptide in the last video. And last but not least, in the top left-hand corner, we went to Seaside, where all I caught was an attitude. If that sounds like something you're into, whether it's the trip or the tips for your next girl's vacation, keep on watching. Tip number 1 is to do things you wouldn't do back home. I don't even own a bike. I haven't since I was like 16 years old, but we rented them for the weekend and used them to get to breakfast, lunch, and the beach. Mind you, in Miami, I drive, we all drive, but we took advantage of the opportunity that it's something that we don't normally do. You don't want to be the girl on the trip that doesn't want to do anything new. You left the house to be somewhere else, to do something else. So keep that same energy throughout the whole vacation. This was a fried chicken biscuit that I had for breakfast. So good. We just finished breakfast. We're gonna go to the farmer's market. We passed it biking on the way here. So we're gonna go back and then we're gonna go to the beach or back to the house. Sorry I haven't checked in with you guys for a while. I hope you're enjoying this vlog. Subscribe if you aren't already. I came in here just for the pink bathroom because they said it was cute in here and they didn't lie. So yes, I'll see you guys in a bit. Here we are in
Alice Beach.
Alice Beach.
Not Anne's like I thought.
Oh, I didn't even know the name of this one for real. It's really pretty with the white like houses. The beach is where? Oh, to the left. It's
Giving,
really cute.
Rich retired mom vibes.
It's giving. I don't pick up my children. The nanny does.
Pilates in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. In my Rolls Royce.
And then the masseuse comes right after I come from Pilates.
Pa fuera! Pa la calle!
Tip number 2, split up. For some reason, you feel compelled to stay together the whole time when you're on a girls' trip and do everything as a group, but you shouldn't. Think of when you and your friend go shopping together. You walk into the same store, but look at different racks and sections, maybe meet up to go to the fitting room and then pay. No one's feelings are hurt. Y'all just do your own thing because there's more of a chance that someone wants to do something different, but just isn't speaking up, especially if you guys are all really nice and don't want to step on toes or ruffle feathers or not that familiar with one another, which was the case for us. After breakfast, some girls wanted to go to the farmer's market and others wanted to stay in Alley's Beach. It got a little uncomfortable because we'd done everything together up to this point, but we did decide to separate, and I'm glad we did. I went with the group that went to the farmer's market, and it was so whack. I didn't even record it, and y'all see I recorded most everything. So even though you are in a group, it doesn't mean that you have to stay together the whole time. Even if you by yourself want to branch off, it's better to do your own thing and come back with the story than miss the opportunity and wish you had one to tell. This time, for the first time, it's clear. It's our last day here, so it works out perfectly. We're walking to the beach. It was like 10 miles on the bike. You'll see the footage before this, but this is what we came for. This is it. Look at this water we're about to get in. What a dream. Tip number 3, if your skin comes in contact with any lemon or lime juice, like if you're drinking margaritas or if you squeeze fresh lemon or lime juice into your water, that's my case, and you go into direct sunlight, you will get an acidic burn. I learned this the hard way. On your skin, it's hyperpigmentation, as you can see here. So if your beach cocktail of choice is a margarita, mojito, Moscow Mule, daiquiri, or if you're chasing tequila shots with a slice of lime to cut the burn, if you're a sober party girl like me and you're just sipping on some lemonade, anything that has lemon or lime juice in it, make sure to rinse off your skin immediately to avoid discoloration. It's been 3 weeks since my trip and they are still visible. They're fading slowly, but they're not cute. So if this does happen to you, no worries. Just smother them in sunscreen and limit sun exposure. So wear clothes or a hat that will cover them when you go outside. And the answer is no, they don't hurt at all. Tip number 4, look up the distance between your current location and the destination. This is a mistake that I made because if I knew how far Seaside was from this big chill location, it was nice, they had shops and food, but if I knew, look at this smile. It's the last smile I had for the next 2-3 hours because after that, we were biking a solid 5 miles. Look at me, hot, tired, regretting going this far. If I knew, I would have biked back to the house and just waited for everybody to come back. It was about 2 in the afternoon. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, as you can see. It was 90 degrees with 68% humidity. I was burning. I was sweating, and my booty was hurting because the seat on the bicycle was uncomfortable going over all these bumps. I'm not even kidding you. All of us were laughing about how sore our butts were from those stiff seats. Tip number 5, after you find out about the distance, find out why you're going to that location. So you can do the math for yourself and figure out if it's even worth going. Because when I got to Seaside, all I caught was an attitude. I was hot, I was tired, and I was mad thinking about how I have to bike all the way back to the house in this blazing sun. Some of the girls came because they wanted to buy merch from one of the shops there, but I didn't buy merch. I got this acai bowl because I know I needed some form of fuel to give me enough energy to make it back to the Airbnb. But if you would have asked me today, Faye, do you want to bike 9.4 miles for an acai bowl? I would have said no. I would have said no then, and I would say no now. I'm speaking from experience, clearly. It's still on my chest. Tip number 6, if you have an attitude, isolate yourself. I knew I was not feeling my best. You could see it in my face. I was just like deadpan, not feeling it. So I rode back to the Airbnb by myself. I was the first one back because I knew that I don't want to be funky with my attitude around other people, you know? I don't want to ruin their vibe. So I was like, let me get back to the house first so I have a little alone time. It is 4:40. The sun is blazing. I just got back from biking a total of 16 miles in peak sunlight. I am drenched in sweat. I will tell you guys about this later. It's later. So we started in the bottom right-hand corner at 9:30 a.m. We rode from the Airbnb to Ali's Beach where we had breakfast and I talked to you guys in that pink cute bathroom. Then we decided to split up as a group for the first time this whole trip. And I was with the group of girls who went to the farmer's market. It was so whack. We were there for less than 5 minutes. Everything was not worth recording, which is why I didn't show it to you guys. It was not interesting. And that was in Rosemary's Beach. Then our group continued to ride up 30A, that's the name of the main road, to Seacrest, where we finally got into the water. I'm telling you, if you're in Florida and you want to have that island beach experience of clear waters without leaving the US, I'm highly recommending Seacrest Beach in particular. After our swim, we reunited at the Big Chill where I told you I had my last smile of the day because after that, child, I had a headache when we arrived in Seaside in the top left-hand corner. At this point, it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon and we had to ride from Seaside to the Airbnb nonstop on the bikes because we had a bonfire reserved for 6:30 at sunset on the beach. So let me show you just how long and just how far we rode. From the Airbnb to Seaside is a 46-minute bike ride one way. We went there and back. That's a total of 18 plus miles. Tip number 7 is to make sure your attitude doesn't last. Yes, the bike ride was long and tiring, not something I'm used to or cut out for. I honestly hate cardio, but we had a bonfire for the last night together and it was absolutely beautiful at sunset on the beach. And imagine if I would have walked around stank for the rest of the trip. If you're one of those people who needs time because I can't go from annoyed to happy, like I need a minute, then congratulations, here's a trophy and enjoy wasting the rest of your trip with your attitude. Like, get over any mishaps or speed bumps. Look at me, roasting a marshmallow. I don't even eat s'mores, but I made one just because I wanted to enjoy the time that I was having. I met new people. I went to a new city, a new beach, and I get to walk around telling people that I did a bike ride of 18 miles in the blazing sun. Okay, bragging rights. That's what I walked away with. As the sun set, we played music and we did karaoke again. All of our sticks became microphones, and it was so nice. Tip number 8 is for my sober party girls, my sober party sisters. If you don't drink alcohol for personal or medical reasons, or if you're just trying to cut back in general, it's expensive. So it could be for financial reasons as well, especially when you're out of town. The rounds can add up. Please don't limit yourself to only drinking water. You'd be surprised. A lot of restaurants and bars have mocktail menus, and even if they don't, you can get anything without alcohol. Girl, there is water at the house. Get yourself a non-alcoholic drink. Luckily on this trip, I had a sober party sister. Shout out to Bridget, and we were giving each other pointers on what to get from the mocktail menu. And finally, tip number 9, especially if you're flying, travel with food. Whether you buy it before you get to the airport because you know it's overpriced, or you're clearing out the fridge of the Airbnb or hotel you're staying at, because flying is such an unpredictable way of transportation. Some of the girls drove back down to Miami. I flew, and my flight got delayed because the flight attendants apparently didn't know which flight attendants were working the flight and which ones were just taking the flight back to Miami. So sitting on the runway for 1 hour caused me to miss my connection flight in Atlanta. So I was stuck in Atlanta for an extra 2 hours. And thank goodness I had food, because it's one thing to be tired and another thing to be tired and hungry. I mean, you have to pick a struggle. You can't be both. So I waited in Atlanta, and luckily the agent was able to put me on a flight that night from Atlanta to West Palm Beach. So it's a little bit of a drive from Miami, but I don't know about you. Are you that kind of a person? When I want to go home, I want to go home. Like, they had a flight later on or the next day, and I was like, no, get me on the next thing you have, because I just want to be in my bed. I want to be home. And because I missed the connection flight, my suitcase did not arrive with me. So when I landed in West Palm, I spoke to the bagging agent, and she took my address down, and they said that since my bag would arrive at 2 a.m., that they would have somebody deliver it to my house. Tip number 10, make sure that you don't put anything too valuable in your checked bags, because you never know. I know you hear a lot about bags not making it for international flights, but any flight you take, there's a chance that you might not get it, A, in time, or B, at all. Luckily, my suitcase came at around, I'd say 11 a.m. the next day, so no worries there. But even if it didn't, I did not have anything valuable in there. It was just clothes and shoes. So this is me waiting for my ride, waiting to get picked up after 12 hours of traveling. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment of if you liked this vlog and which tip was your favorite, or if I left a tip out. And please, until the next video, I hope that you stay safe and act accordingly. Bye.